Today we'll be talking about the Mariana Trench, but for languages, and I think this video will help language learners navigate through the sorcery, the myths and the performance tricks that are unfortunately all too common in language learning these days. That's what you get when you let IT and business take over your trade, eh? This video isn't for everyone. Most people do want to go wow, 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 wow as soon as we talk about the language landscape. If you don't want your castle deflated, don't watch this. So for the brave among us, let's venture forth. I found that as soon as we point out uncomfortable truths, the best of shepherds will usually encounter resistance, especially if they say that the emperor wears no clothes. People say, no, he's not telling the truth. Polyglots are brilliant people. My super cool YouTube teacher doesn't need qualifications, nor does my Preply tutor. And this is understandable. It touches upon identity preservation. It's hard to admit that we were fooled. Just look at the BBC, right? How long did that take for it to fall? Well, starting to fall. So what if the whole town was cardboard? What if it was all fake? It's just a big inflatable castle built on deceit. That's what language teaching is these days. And today, we're here to burst this castle. So let's talk facts instead of emotions, and you can check my facts wherever you want. Just ask Google, artificial intelligence, ask ChatGPT how correct I am today, go to your local university, have a talk with the linguistics department, and you'll see. Appearing on the screen is a picture of the Mariana Trench. It's the deepest body of water on Earth, and languages are a bit like that also. They're very deep and contain many skills, and here's the list of skills. I found about 54 of them. These are all the things that you can do in your native language without even thinking about it. And if you missed even one of these skills, it would be weird. It would be really very strange. You'd be like a non-native speaker of your own native language, in a way. We have 11 main sections. I won't read the full list, it's far too long. You'll find them at the end of my video. Just hit pause and read them at your leisure. But imagine if you were missing any one of them. If you were not capable of hearing subtle sound distinctions that signal meaning, someone might say to you, if you want, and you would have no idea what they really were implying, what they really were hinting at. Someone might say, groovy. And you would have no idea. I like to place that one. You would have no idea what it means. Groovy. Or if you want. You'd really think that it means if you want. Second example, what if you got none of the references to historical events or period? I might say to you, fret ye not. And you'd have no idea what I meant. It would just be odd. You wouldn't be able to demonstrate linguistic empathy either. You talk to the gardener the same way as you talk to a kid or a school teacher. It would just be odd. You wouldn't be able to adapt. It would be like saying, I say, good sire, pour me a tall glass of your finest ale, on the quick, in a rundown pub. It would just be strange. Well, actually, it might work. I think that example might work. Can I have another go? I say, good sire, pour me a tall glass of your finest ale, on the quick. I think I like that one better. Well, let me tell you this, and let's get serious for a second. These simple skills that are so basic for a native speaker are outside of the reach of a polyglot, beyond their imagination. And I would say it's an impossibility to know these skills beyond 2 languages. And if you can do 3, all these skills in 3 languages, you're close to being God on earth. I'm confident I can do both trenches for French and English. There is no way I would ever be able to do that for a 3rd language. No way. And I'm saying this perhaps because I realise what it means to be able to do this in 2 trenches, so to speak. Again, I encourage you to ask artificial intelligence, your local linguistics department, ask Google. I'm saying that I do not believe there's a single person on earth who can do this for 3 languages. They would literally be a superhuman. They would be God on earth. Now you may be thinking, yes, but it's not my goal to know the full trench. And therefore, my source of learning doesn't need it either. Wrong. You don't need it. I agree with that. You don't need it, but they certainly do. Or they are by default setting a bad example for you. And I'll tell you something else that no one mentions because it's very uncomfortable. If your language teacher or source of learning, whatever, doesn't know your Mariana Trench as well as you do, they're missing out on most of what you are, and they only partially understand you. The truth of the matter is that the real expert knows 2 trenches really, really well, perhaps 3. And I'd love to meet that person. I really, really, really would. I'd be the biggest fanboy ever if there was ever a human being who was competent in 3 trenches, 3 Mariana Trenches. A polyglot doesn't know any trench for any of the languages they know. They know puddles. They know puddles of language. Just ask them. Puddles. Many, many, many tiny little puddles of language. And you're free to check this fact, not this opinion, this fact, with who you will. And now I'll give you the full list of skills that a native speaker uses without even thinking about them. The same skills a polyglot doesn't have. Thanks for watching. My name's Chris. I'll see you very soon in a French class.